president role?
I don't believe so.
You don't think so?
I don't believe so.
Oh, come on. just give Jeff a little bit of time. He'll talk into it.
Quash those rumors right now. Okay, we are live.
Okay. All right, we are ready to go. Let's start with the roll call. President Kevin Smith, present. Steve Mush, present. Jeff Webb, here. Bob Brenneman, here. Matt McAleer is absent. Okay. Everybody take a quick minute and look over the minutes from our last meeting. We do have the one addition to add Jeff Webb into there because he was present for our last meeting. Anybody has any other comments or concerns? If not, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Mayor, would you like to talk to us about our one claim that you wanted to talk before we get started on that?
Before we move forward, do we want to have?
Or do we want to swear in first?
Let's swear in.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
You have those with you, Jacob?
I've distributed them to.
Oh. You have one that I can see?
There's another. Yes, you can have Matt's copy.
All right. Well, I'm just going to read it, and at the end, just say I do. Obviously, you'll have to say your name.
It's actually not in the meeting packet.
Probably not. All right. All right, this is the oath of office for the Rensselaer Redevelopment Commission. Again, after I, please state your name, and then at the end say I do, and I'll sign all these after you guys have signed them. So I suppose we should raise our right hand. I state your name.
Kevin Smith.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Indiana, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Rensselaer Redevelopment Commission for the city of Rensselaer according to law and to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you very much, guys. We'll pass those back to the end here. Jacob will collect them all, and then we'll get you guys copies. I assume if you want one, we'll get that done for you. One claim I was going to talk about, and we can talk about the other one too. You'll see a claim from Bose, McKinney, and Evans in there, and thank goodness Attorney Sandwich is here also. We're still trying to get the county's attorney to work with us to have a joint TIF for the area west of I-65. It's going to be our water and sewer and gas in those areas, so we'd like to protect ourselves a little bit with a joint TIF area. I know the county would like for us to look at maybe the water and the sewer continuing going west to the two subdivisions that are out that way, but it will take that TIF funds to get that water, definitely water and sewer out to that area. So we're still working on that, and that's why you see the one claim. The other claim is the one that we decided to go ahead and approve, the 10% for Jasper County Economic Development to continue to work with our facade grant. Quite proud of the development that we're seeing downtown with the private investment that's just pushed a little bit from redevelopment funds. The only issue that Jacob and I didn't really talk about ahead of time is they submitted a claim for, or a bill for the $10,000, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to spend the whole $100,000. So it was kind of different, and I don't know how else to handle that.
It'd just be 10%, right?
Yeah, 10% of the $100,000, which is $10,000. But what if we don't spend?
Sure. you're not required, you have to spend the whole thing.
Right. So I'm not sure how we wanted to handle that. And it's why,
Can we just submit it to them as we spend a grant?
I would think that's how we were gonna do it, and then not necessarily this,
And
this.
then they would have to redo it, just submit an invoice with each one of those, it would make sense to me.
That would make more sense to me also. So if you want to deny this claim now, and then we'll get back with them and say, hey, here's how we'd like to do it. Why this seems much easier, I don't know that we can do that.
Yeah.
I would think that would put us in a bad position.
I would agree.
Okay. All right, that's the one on claims, I thought. Other than that, I think that's all I have, Kevin.
Okay.
Unless there are questions?
I'll just say that the other two claims here are from Jeffrey Sands for the appraisals for the 7th Street lots, which we'll be discussing later on. But that was that's for $700. That's the amount that he quoted to me, and we received that. And then the other one here is for some additional services from Commonwealth Engineers about the 7th Street improvements. I asked Bryce exactly what it was, and he said that they basically extra time here, and that may or may not be the end of the 7th Street project. But
What are you expecting more on that, or?
I don't think he could tell me.
Okay.
So
The only one more, I think, is just for the paving.
Okay.
yeah.
But we still should be coming in well under what we had discussed to spend there.
Yep, absolutely. Do we have any other questions on any claims? So we need to break this, the claim for Jasper County Economic Development off.
I make a motion to approve the claims with the exception of the JCEO claim.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right. Nothing for old business. Jacob, can you talk to us about 7th Street lot appraisals?
Yes, absolutely. So I was advised by Mr. Sammons here. Apparently, we had a misunderstanding about the appraisals being done for 7th Street. We actually need 2 separate appraisals for each property, and then we can list it at the average of those values.
Okay.
So I was advised to reach out to Mr. Sands if he had a recommendation for somebody else. Happened to be Bill from Enhystra Appraisals. Yes, and actually they were the third appraisal service that I tried to get a quote from before, and who I thought had never gotten back to me. I discovered when I tried to reach out to them again that it was actually caught in my our spam interception service. So they actually quoted me $700, exactly the same as what Mr. Sands did. That's less than the other quote that I received, which was for $950. So my plan is, I'd like to ask you guys to get approval to move forward with that second appraisal, and then next meeting we can hopefully have a resolution authorizing us to sell those at whatever the value that we get after we do the math.
So they'll be able to get it done pretty quick then, we won't have to wait?
I believe so, yes. I don't think that it'll take them more than a month, certainly. I told them I would be getting back to them tomorrow with an answer, so. But yeah, it's for $700, which is the same that we've already paid for one appraisal, so.
We just have to have the 2, we are gonna have to have a third on any of those?
No, I don't.
No, you just have to have 2, and to start out the bidding process, you list it no less than the average of those.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 2 appraisals, but there were 2 separate appraisals
Yeah.
for the 2 separate lots, and anyway, and the idea would be, hopefully we would get it in time to have the resolution ready for the March 2nd meeting.
Yes.
Right, and I've worked with that individual before, and it's done good work, so.
Yeah, I believe this was the same person who did one of the appraisals for 470 North Cullen Street.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel confident this will be a good choice.
Do we have the other appraisal come back yet at all?
We did, I actually don't have it handy.
I don't have any, Jeff Sands appraisals.
Yes, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what the numbers were, but
It doesn't
since.
matter till the next guy.
Exactly,
Really, so-
since, yeah, I believe, do you feel comfortable saying what the amounts were?
I don't remember off the top of my head what they were.
I couldn't
I've
tell.
got some numbers rolling around in my head, but I wouldn't want to necessarily,
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah, okay.
Or Jacob, supply them.
Yeah. So, that's where we're at on that, so I'd like a motion to give me permission to move forward with the second appraisal.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we move forward with getting a second appraisal from Mr. Einheistra for the 7th Street lots.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much, guys.
Mayor, can you come back up and talk to us?
This is our annual request.
Oh, yeah, that is right there.
Help us with how much were those?
Sorry, I actually do have the numbers right here. One of them was approximately 12,000 and the other was 29,000. So for each lot. So I think
It was
the
more than I
29
thought.
was for the much bigger one, and 12,000 for the smaller one.
Okay.
A lot more than I thought it was gonna be.
Yep. Were one of those bigger lots, were we cutting those down?
We talked about doing it, but we didn't think that it would sell as quickly as we separated those two lots, so.
Okay.
The one is kind of small, and I thought, well, if we leave the bigger lot, hopefully someone will find it a little more attractive to put a little more, larger residents in that place too.
Okay.
So, we had a couple of people who are interested in it, so as soon as we can get the stuff ready to advertise, we'll get it out there.
Awesome.
All right. All right. The funding request again is for the community arts project, which they have art week. I believe it's the last week of June, and then they're going to finish with June 27th with art in the park. I believe it is. They're going to have a festival even. So this is where we've asked for up to $25,000 and have tourism try to match our dollars. I have checked with Stace, and he doesn't remember any of the property owners themselves paying for the murals. This year, we've asked the Eagles if they would be interested in having murals on their building, and so far, they've indicated that they were interested in doing it. They just didn't have the funding to do so. So we're working with, Park Department, Cameron, and Mr. Preston. Also, this is a way that we're working also with Jasper County Economic Development and Tourism to try to come up and make sure that all of us are on the same page, so we don't have any miscommunication like we may have had in the years past. So we're going to ask for up to $25,000, and then hopefully tourism will match us with something close to that, and we'll go from there.
Are they just planning on the one mural on the Eagles, or are they planning on?
No, they have 2 or 3 other ones that needed touched up along throughout the city that they're planning on doing. But the Eagles was the one that we wanted to try to lump into the art mural week. So met with economic development, came by today, with tourism, I should say, came by today. So they do have scans for all the murals at this point, and they were going to try to come up with a scan. It details who the artist is, what they thought the issue is, and then tourism's trying to promote the mural trail itself. So hopefully, like I said, these meetings like this, if we continue to get everybody into the same room, hopefully we'll get a little bit better on our tourism side of things. So, Art and Alley Week or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions for him on?
So that includes touching up the ones that we have, like down by the river that are,
Some of them are going to have to be painted over. The down by the river one, we may do something different with our park department on that. So that one, we may have a summer program even with our park to try to do something different. And then start gearing towards maybe looking at some type of walk along the river and start those type of plannings. So that will be I'm sure a lengthy process, but what's been the talk so far?
So do you need a?
A motion for up to
Up to
25,000.
25,000?
I'll make that motion.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, guys. The walking path is the next one we're going to talk about. We're starting to gather some movement towards it. That's the one that's the map that's in front of you. We did receive, like I said, $1 million for a plan that runs along 114. There were some definite issues with security and safety that we were not real happy with. So this project came to us and went out there and looked at it. It really looks like it's nice to fit right in back behind there. So when you look at this path here, it'll get the community corrections people off of the highway. We have a crossing that's right down at community corrections that we wanted some input from the fair board if they wanted their path along the front there, which hopefully they're going to get back to me on something like that. The other nice part of this is, obviously, would be the fair board that we would need to get right away from, along with 2 other property owners, not 16. Where if we were running alongside the road, we'd probably have around 16 different property owners to try to gather that path. One of the things that we've discussed with the commissioners is to take that $1 million grant that we received from NDOT that is a 2031 call, which means we can go out for construction bids in 2031 and to continue west from the fairgrounds out west as far as we can get that going with that $1 million. So we talked briefly with commissioners and with BF&S, I believe is now what engineering firm the county uses. Gosh darn it. Anyway, we met with them. We're going to try to make sure that NDOT will allow us to take that grant and then continue to go west with that grant. It's just going to be a question of funding. It's going to be the difficult issue. We've asked our engineers to give us a bottom line on funding for doing the engineering for it. The number that they gave us was $128,000, $8,000 for the project management, topographical survey, and right-of-way assistance around $51,200, preliminary design $36,000, final design around $27,000, and then permit assistance around $6,400. The total is, like I said, $128,600. This will be the start of this trail here. We again have we have the commissioners on board that are going to help us with this trail. Again, this is designed to increase safety and then drop some of the liability that the county and the city share when people are walking back and forth along 114. So this is the one that we'll probably take on a great deal more and perform ourselves. But then we'll talk to our friends at Heidelberg and Hanson Materials, whichever you want to call them, see who all would be willing to donate to this project. So hopefully we are going to find a funding source for this other than Rensselaer Redevelopment, but we may be committed to some dollars from the Redevelopment Commission. Any questions?
County will share on maintenance.
Maintenance will be done by our park department. So it's south by snow plowing and maintaining it. They're going to do it. The park department also wants to put in some, I don't know what she calls it, but some natural grasses, natural shrubs along this, so it's also a trail walk and not just something that.
Wait, was native?
Native.
Where do you
Thank you. Native, that's the one. Thank you, Jacob. So those are the ones that we'll do themselves. They have 2 or 3 runs that have a small ditch that we're going to ask help from the surveyor's office and from the county to maintain those themselves. Because you can see the 2 or 3 low spots in that will be an issue. So county is going to help with us on that part. They also talked about maybe providing the asphalt from their plant to do this, and then we would have to hire a company that would put the asphalt down.
How
So,
wide is it gonna be?
Hmm?
How wide they're talking?
so we'll probably ask for a 30-foot right-of-way with a path that's going to be around 10 feet. The extra right-of-way will be in case we need to run utilities at some point through there. The idea when you talk with engineering firms is there's some really nice farm ground that if I had it, it would be nice to subdivide. So hopefully the development will follow the path.
Are there any concerns, and we're talking about corrections, people taking this path out in the middle of an empty field, are there any safety concerns there?
Certainly are. In fact, so Rensselaer Electric Utility will be the one that finds the probably solar-driven streetlights that are going to also, that'll run along this path. And then along with those, we'll have to have the camera systems that are going to be on that path also.
Okay.
So those hopefully will solve some of the safety concerns that we'll have from there. But we most definitely want to do that. The other part is talking with the judges, hopefully, and community corrections. But this will not be a path that's a choice for them to take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you, as part of your agreement, your plea agreement, hopefully this will be part of that stipulation that you will use that path and not walk along 114 and get hit. So we're trying to do it for the safety of everybody that's involved.
Okay.
But we do have a bunch of partners on board now, and then the funding will be interesting how we handle that.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have any other questions on it?
So is this path pretty much set now instead of going along 114?
No and yes. So prior to the engineer, you can't really discuss the right-of-way. We've had the one long section property owner that's agreeable. And obviously, I believe the fairgrounds are going to be agreeable. But there's another section property owner that we just kind of mentioned it to. Again, we can't talk about price or anything until it gets to a certain level.
Absolutely.
But
Is 2A, is that ground owned by the fair board, or is that a private landowner?
That's fair.
yeah, fairground owns 2A. Well, actually, the commissioners own 2A, and then the fair board owns that. Yeah. So
So the landowners you're talking about would be 3 and then 7?
3 and 7,
Okay.
and then this runs right into the well, not 7. It's more 14A, 14B.
Okay.
So there is an opportunity for us if we want. I believe Mr. Saylor still owns the backside of this ground. If you go out there, there's a nice little section of grass right behind Countryside. When I talked to the nice young ladies at church, they really would enjoy that being there, which I was kind of nervous about what they'd say, but they would enjoy that part. The other landowner's an old friend of the family's, so that's why I said we just kind of mentioned it with them. But it would tie right into the back of Brookside Park where when we ran along 114, we were trying to figure out how do we tie it back in to keep it safe when there's no sidewalk up 114. So, yeah, it was not easy to figure out, but I think we've got it figured out this time.
Good.
And if we have to go to landowners 7 and 10 and 12A, we will have to do something like that, but hopefully we can just have the 2 landowners that we have the right-of-way issues and we go from there. All right?
All right.
All right.
Do we need to take any action on that?
I was gonna say, do you need?
Is there any action on that tonight?
No, we don't need any action on it.
Informational.
I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that plan. If we need to use some TIF funds down the road, we may have to. The other grant is the one that's kind of head scratching. NDOT came back and said, hey, our engineering costs are too high. And they were concerned about right-of-way issues also on that grant. But if we can flip that grant and keep that going west, and then continue to get that trail all the way out there, because we do see people from community corrections walking west on 114, just maybe not as frequently as the ones coming east, but I'm sure some people in this room would love to have a trail right through their front yard, but.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. You don't have much space between my fence and
No, there isn't.
porch, but
No, which is some of the engineering issues, because you have, obviously some big time issues with the low level ground there. And then the
Yeah.
ditch that tries to funnel that. So this is one of the issues.
Nowhere.
Yeah, where those guys really, ugh.
I love the idea of the walking path. It is a little disappointing that it's not on 114. I'd always envisioned it with the old-fashioned lighting and the shrubbery that would just be a nice entrance into town. And now it's gonna be back, a mile back, which I understand the logistics of it, but now all the lighting, all the shrubbery and stuff is gonna be out of sight of the main artery coming into town, so.
Well, let's just think about that for a minute. So 10 years from now, will this be a main way to come into town if there's a housing development that goes inside that area? So there could be, more to this than what we're thinking. So who knows? I don't think we want anything driving over it, though. We can avoid that.
No,
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
We can avoid that.
It'll also be pleasant for cyclists and anybody else who, wants to use it and just go for a stroll.
There's a lot of complaints I would get because the walking path's not long enough. Say, a person who has a bigger dog is what they were coming to me. I'm like, so we were trying to, and we'll continue to work with St. Joe. I'm at their next board meeting in February. So we'll continue to try to keep those relationships going there, and hopefully eventually extend a path that will make it all the way down to Lake Benet, where somebody who has a bigger dog can go a little bit farther distance. But this was one of them, and then the bicyclists who want to go out, they can get into the fairgrounds, which has a number of paved roads out there too. So it will be for those people who either want to run, bike, or even for a lot longer walk. This should work real well.
Absolutely. Okay. We have anything else?
Any other questions?
Anything else?
A good meeting on Farmers Market Pavilion. Again, all those funds should be already met because of our facade grant that we've donated to, and the private investment after that, along with the county sidewalk improvements that they've invested in, and then the Brick Street project. All of that funding matches the dollars that we need to pick up for that Ready 2.0 funds. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's great. That's good. All right, if we don't have anything else, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I didn't know if you felt the cake playing like that. That's what I'm
Jeff, do you have your, okay, good. Give me a second and I'll turn on the screen.
It wasn't in my pile, but I found one in this pile.
What else?
Wonderful. Yeah, I just, we want those